It's nearly Christmas. Are you ready? Ooh. I had a bit of a different Christmas this year, as much as, I've gone through many phases in my life, I've gone from the rich to the poor, to the medium, to the average, to the, nothing, so I've done it all. I've done Christmases in all ways. And this year was just one of those medium ones for me. Rather than walking into a shop and going, oh, I'll have one of those, one of those, one of those. I'm going, oh, how much does that one cost? Oh, I've got to juggle my pennies here. It's always Christmas. But it got me to thinking, I was thinking about all the Christmases that I've had. And there's been times when there's been really tough, there's been really, really tough. And it made me think of a Christmas that my children never let me forget. So one year, my husband and I decided that we were going to get married, right? So we were going to get married in the beginning of the year, so early December. Big idea, flash idea. And so you had to pay for the wedding, right? And we had the kids, because they weren't living with me at the moment, so they flew over, so we had airfares. We had all the food, we had all the wedding, we had all the gown, we had all the bits and pieces, right? And then it suddenly Christmas came, and it was like, don't really have a lot of money for Christmas. So we decided that, Christmas was going to be about family. And this is our new family. We'd put two families together and we blended them. And this is going to be about family. So we thought, Barry and I thought that this was a good enough gift for them. They had no concept that that was a good enough gift. And so we didn't have any money. So we bought them one boat, a boat that they could play on the river with, and because we live near the water, so we thought that would be good. So they got one boat, and we put that under the Christmas tree, and it was a big thing. So it looked like it was a big Christmas tree. And then we had lots of little envelopes, and in the envelopes, I had done gift vouchers. Now these gift vouchers weren't from the shop; they were gift vouchers for me. And so I had said to them, there was a gift voucher for them to go abseiling. Anyway, so I made up all these vouchers and I put them in envelopes and I gave them to the kids for Christmas. So they were really stoked. They thought that was wonderful. Unbeknownst to me, they went down to the abseiling place without me and decided that they were going to go abseiling because they were going to use their vouchers. And the guy down there laughed at them and said, no, these aren't our vouchers. These are whoever's vouchers, but these aren't going to get you an abseiling. And so my kids went, she's ripped us off. Anyway, well, probably I did because I never took them abseiling. But for the moment, they thought they got something for Christmas. And I had always intended that I would take them abseiling. I just didn't do it in their time frame. And so to this day, they still, they tease me about, do you remember when you went abseiling, Mum? Do you remember this? Oh, yeah. I remember struggling. And one of the big parts of, me joining my business and really, really running for it was that I didn't want to be that grandmother that just bought the kids pencils for Christmas. I never wanted to be that grandmother. And I was heading that way. That was where I was heading because the grandchildren kept coming faster than my bank account was growing. So it was like, oh, how am I going to do this? So, when I started this business, I didn't start off, doing it really fast and doing it, making lots of money. I didn't do that. I started off slow and I earned a little bit, and anything was better than what I had because, I had nothing. So anything was better than what I had. So, and Christmas has started to grow. I've done lots of things. I was saying to Sam the other day, there was a time where I didn't have couldn't afford wrapping paper. So I used newspaper. And put newspaper in, and I put like a bow on it, or I put writing on it, or whatever I did. But that was my Christmas wrapping, was newspaper. And I went on this telling the kids that I was on a campaign where I wasn't going to waste money on wrapping paper this year. So everybody's got newspaper, and so that was my plan. And it actually looked really quite good, but it was my plan of trying to save a little bit of money. But I was on a different plan for the kids to say, this is not an easy time for anyone. It's everything is, some people feel really bad because they can't do things for others. Some people feel that they've overdone it. Some people feel that they're not good enough. Some people feel that like there's lots of emotions that go around Christmas. It's not just a matter of sitting there and having this wonderful food and time together. There's lots of emotions. And even in my own family, I've got, a family that is struggling. And so, like, we all try to rally around that little family and try and support them and make them, them feel that they're having Christmas too. And, there's 4 little kids in that little family. So for me, it's like, oh gosh, like, what do I need to do to make those kids feel that they have Christmas? Because I know there's no Christmas at home. So Sam and I are bringing them to our home for today. We're going to bring them here for today. And then they can get involved with, Santa and the Christmas tree. And, there's some presents under the tree for them. I'm a big believer in keeping the magic of Christmas, so even as big as my kids are, I still put out the flower to catch Santa's footprints, and I still write a letter from Santa, and I still do all of the dreams that, I make sure there's fairy dust. I make sure that there's, I just still keep Christmas as Christmas for me, no matter how big they are. And then the little ones learn the traditions and then they follow through. Sam and I have been wrapping presents and as I said, this year is not extravagant for us. It's a year where we've just, done little things. But the gift of always is going to be that all the kids will be sitting around the table for Christmas lunch, and all the little kids will be there and all the big kids will be there. And I've set my table. I didn't buy anything new. I just made do with what I had and then made it into a different Christmas. Like, sometimes it just takes a bit of imagination, isn't it? And sometimes, like, I feel that that's mum's job. I feel that, and I guess maybe because I've always done it, but I feel like it's a mum's job to make sure that the magic of Christmas stays in the home, so that there is always a home to go to, that even my big kids say, oh, Mum, we'll come home for Christmas lunch. Now they know, because Mum will always do Christmas lunch. There's always a Christmas lunch here. And so they'll all come in and join in, and there's that magic of Mum, like, I think that's, for me, that's what I like to do. And I like to try and keep the magic. Does that make sense? Like, I want the magic of just us all of it as one family, and sitting together and laughing and pulling the bonbons and, like the Christmas ham. And, so I'm going to spend the day like doing my cooking and getting my stuff ready. But I just want to say to you, like, if you're thinking that you're failing, or if you're thinking that you're not good enough, or you think you haven't done enough, just think outside the square, and you can always make something from nothing. Always. And I've proven that many times. Even if you have to borrow my voucher idea, maybe make sure you take the kids on the voucher so they don't come back at you years later. But it's always a good story. It's always a good story for them. They always have a go at me about that one. But you do what you can, don't you? You just do what you can for your family at this point in time of the year. And I guess, the kids later on in life might tease you, but I don't think they ever understand what it was that you were going through at that time to even make sure that they had that much. Do you know what I mean? Like, so my kids never had a clue that we were struggling. My kids never understood it. My kids never even thought about it. They just thought that they were, having this great life. They didn't understand that it cost lots of money to do it. So they had no understanding of our finances, but we just did the best we could. And I guess that's what all of us need to do, is just do the best that we can at this point in time of the year. And it doesn't have to be lavish, but it has to come with love. And I guess if we all just come with love, then, that's the foundation, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's the foundation of all of us. Merry Christmas to a lot of you. Merry Christmas to anyone out there that's sort of watching and me and following my footsteps and my journey this year. It's been a big year for me, but I'm going into 2026 with new hope in my heart, and going into 2026 with a new energy. So it's the year of the horse. I'm going to be running, and I know that a lot of my team will be running with me. So Merry Christmas to you. Sam and I'll come in later on and do Christmas cheers to all of you. But for me, this is just my moment when I was sitting there thinking, oh, I remember. I remember how tough it was. I remember. My life's not that tough anymore, but it's not perfect. But it's not that tough anymore, but it's better than most. And but I remember what it was like. So just fill your homes with love today. Fill your homes, and if it's a Christmas pudding, or if it's something that you've cooked, or if whatever it is, look, just make it yours. Okay. Merry Christmas, everyone.